Hello everybody and welcome back to the Survival Chances Slim Summary Series. This episode covering cycles 61 through 70. So, what do we get done in the past 10 cycles of our maximum difficulty oxygen not included Let's Play? Well, the answer is a decent amount. First of all, we printed off 2 new duplicates, Ashcan and May. Welcome aboard. We did kind of skip on printing a duplicate to print out some algae. Most of the duplicates that we were offered that round were pretty poor, and algae helps a little bit with our oxygen situation, so why not? We are well on track, though, to getting 25 duplicates by cycle 100, which is our stated goal, so I feel like we're fine on taking a skip there. Other than that, we have built and operated this gas pump system, which has taken a lot of the natural gas that was floating around our base and pumped it back into our natural gas collection and usage system over here by our natural gas vent. The natural gas, of course, escapes our base because this system becomes backed up and then the natural gas is sent over here where it then kind of spreads out in the rest of our base. These pumps make sure that after this thing has gone dormant and we need sort of more natural gas pumped in this area, we can just grab it from wherever it was in our base. We have also gone ahead and moved our oxyferns down a little bit lower and created this sort of airflow tile to help with carbon dioxide flowing across here. This helps make sure that our oxyferns remain submerged in carbon dioxide and make sure that they continue operating and help provide some oxygen for our base. It's a good use for the wastewater that we have building up in this liquid reservoir. Other than that, the big thing that we've gone ahead and done is started exploring around the map. Up north, we have actually found space. We found the source of our heat problems over here, which is these two sort of leaky volcanoes which have leaked through over here. But we have found space. We can't quite get all the way up there because there isn't really enough breath. There's enough oxygen for duplicates to run all the way up here and get much work done before they have to run back and catch their breath. So we're kind of stalled out on progressing in this direction. But we've also begun digging out in this direction where we have found an oil biome, pretty useful. We're starting to set up temp shift plates to absorb some of the heat from the air, to try and keep this at a nice survivable temperature. Anything above 75 degrees is usually the point where duplicates will begin scalding. Likewise, we have begun exploring out here, and this area is a lot hotter, so we're building a lot more in the way of temp shift plates. We're setting up some insulated tile, but very importantly, we have found a new geyser down here, which we know to be, if I use a little bit of a cheat here, a saltwater geyser. So that's going to be a big important thing that we have going forward, a renewable source of water ultimately. This does create a lot of problems and issues that the saltwater geyser is going to have water produced at 95 degrees Celsius, and none of the components that we're able to build are able to survive at that temperature. They all have an overheat temperature of 75 degrees. So if we built a pump to just try and pump out that water, that pump would start breaking because it would be over 75 degrees. So we are going to need something to solve that issue there, but a renewable source of water would be absolutely huge for this base. It is going to take a lot of work to be able to kind of explore down here. We see all the building tasks that have to be done here. This is 800 kilograms per temp shift plate, so they're pretty expensive in terms of build time. Also, this insulated tile is all 400 kilograms a piece. There's basically a lot of stuff that's going to be kind of difficult to build to just slowly make our way down here and keep this temperature below 75 degrees. To help with that, of course, we have built a triage cot. We're basically in the process of setting up a little medical bay in this alcove over here. We've moved our dining area up to here. We probably need to expand this out to accept more duplicates. In fact, expand all of our facilities out to accept more duplicates. We only have 16 beds right now, but 19 duplicates in the base. So expanding that is going to be a priority going forward. We haven't quite completed this shielding up here, but we have also gone ahead and analyzed the natural gas geyser and are working on analyzing the infectious polluted oxygen vent. So we know that the natural gas geyser is going to go back online in 6.7 cycles. So by the time we see the next summary episode, this thing will be back online, and that means we're going to have more polluted water for the base, which means we're going to start irrigating these trees again, which means we're going to have more water for our oxygen production, and so on and so forth. Less of a resource crunch once those come back online. So those are the big developments and happenings in the base. We're also going to need to expand out our farms a little bit. Our food production is kind of peaked and is starting to slowly fall because we had enough food sort of set up for about 17 and a half duplicates. And now that we're going slightly above that, we're going to see this start falling again. So we're going to need to get on top of that. Luckily, we have also seen some progress in getting our arbor trees planted. We have cleaned up all of the mealwood seeds, which were previously distracting our pips from planting the arbor trees. And they've gone ahead and started planting a few around here with whatever excess seeds we have. Once these things sort of grow up, they will then be able to grab new seeds from them and expand our production even further. That's going to be really important going forward for generating free resources for this sort of industrial sector that we have over here, which is currently offline because we needed to get our oxygen supplies a little bit higher, which meant diverting water water from our lumber production over here, which meant this went offline, and so on and so forth. We're going to need to get this kicked back pretty soon as well. But exploration has found us some pretty good things. Again, saltwater geyser down here, a oil biome over here, which ideally would have slicksters in it, but even if not, there's plenty of refined metal. There's some oil which we can ultimately turn into water, and all sorts of good stuff over there. And then finding space is pretty good, because if we can find the gravitas center, we can strip it for parts and get some steel, and steel would particularly help with taming this saltwater geyser that we have down here. So that's it for the episode. We're going to see a lot more burned duplicates like Ren in the future as we do this exploration work, but I think it's worth it to try and explore up beyond the base and find some resources. It's slow going, but that's the way that we prevent this sort of run from becoming too grindy. Find new resources to use and harvest, and kind of get ahead of the curve in that means. So that's it for this episode. I will catch you guys next time.